Well, how's it feel coming into season 2 now? Your character's got a little more responsibilities this season, so it's a little different, but
Yeah.
same guy, different job.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the thing about this character is that even though he's now been made president of the company, he can't quit being a landman. I mean, if it's in your blood, it's in your blood.
Yeah.
And so he's now, he's a reluctant president. I mean, he does not want to be a suit, so he's still very in control of what he did before, you know.
Are you having fun?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, this season, I told Taylor the other day, I said, I'm a little worried because everything is going really smooth and you're happy and I'm happy.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
You've talked a lot over the course of your career about how you never want to, you don't want to imitate someone or something, that there has to be a kernel of you in some of those roles. So what do you think, what kernel of you you think is Tommy?
Well, I mean, I pretty much am playing myself if I were a landman. I mean, it's, Taylor wrote the show around me and wrote it in my voice. And when he told me he was going to do that, I was like, yeah, we'll see. I read the first script, it's like, I'll be damned if he didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
He just got you.
He just got it. And
it's a lot of pressure though, right?
Yeah, there's some pressure, yeah.
I'm going to write a whole show for you.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Don't screw it up.
Exactly.
I think you had said that growing up you had a couple of friends whose dads were landmen. Is that right?
I know a couple of people whose dads were landmen, yes. So I keep running into people who, there was a girl that came up to me. I mean, she wasn't, when I say girl, it's because she looked to be 30s maybe.
Yeah.
And she said, hi, I just want to say hello to you. You're doing a great job at this. I'm a landman. I was like, wow. So I've been approached by a few people.
It does seem like it's a world though that unless you're in it, you don't really know much about, right?
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that appeal to people about the show.
Yeah.
Is you're taking a peek behind the curtain of a world we really don't see. When Taylor first told me about this, because I'd done a cameo for him in 1883,
yeah,
and he said at the dinner afterward, after the premiere, he said, I'm writing this show, it's called Landman, here's what it's about. So I agreed to do it before I ever saw a script.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was that convinced. And I know that Taylor knows what he's doing, and he'd wanted to do a thing with me already. We weren't sure what it was going to be, and he got it, what it was going to be.
You did a lot of different jobs growing up. Worked at Shakey's Pizza, you did a machine shop, I think, a bunch of other things.
Oh yeah.
Is there any one of those jobs that comes close to sort of the danger that these guys are dealing with?
Yeah, I mean, I worked at a sawmill, and I was really young. I worked for the highway department, shoveling asphalt. I drove a truck and hauled heavy equipment. Now, if you want to do a job, well, actually, I can say that a lot of the things that I've written, screenplays, songs, everything, came from when I slotted screws at a machine shop in Malvern, Arkansas. Because what it is you got a giant, like a 50-gallon drum of screws with no slot in them. They're flathead screws. And then you have this handle with a little saw blade that shoots oil over the spot. You take a screw, you put it in this little hole, and there's oil pouring over it so it doesn't just burn up, you know.
Yeah.
And you pull this handle and the saw blade puts a slot in it, you take it out and throw it into this 50-gallon drum. That's what you do all day. And that's what the rookies do. And so you're so incredibly bored that I would just daydream all day. But you had to be a little present so the saw blade didn't get your finger, but it's this all day.
All day.
Yeah.
And that's where you started
I started writing stuff in my head at that point, and I was between graduation and the time I was 19 is when I worked there. So I was 18 years old, yeah.
So were you writing songs, or were you writing
Me-
screenplays, stories, short stories?
Songs and short stories.
Yeah.
That's where it started. I mean, I started writing short stories and songs earlier than that because I was in bands my whole life, you know.
Yeah.
So I'd done that already, but this is where the dream of someday coming to California and doing this, it probably started there.
From slotting screws.
Sliding screws.
When you were, you grew up obviously in a small town where a lot of this is set in West Texas. Does this feel sort of authentically small town to you, to someone who grew up in one?
Well, it feels authentically the Midland, Odessa area to
Yeah.
me, yes, for sure. Even though we generally shoot in and around Fort Worth, we have shot some out in Midland, Odessa. And so to me, my life in Arkansas was much more rural than this.
Than even here.
So to me, as a kid, Midland would have been a big town.
Is that right?
Yeah, but yes, it's very authentic to the Midland, Odessa area, for sure.
Did you like growing up in a small town?
I did. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
I would never trade my life for anything, the good and the bad, because that's what forms you.
Yeah.
You know, I keep my upbringing in my back pocket all the time.
Yeah.
You never forget it. People say to me, you know, and I don't know, you get on these lists sometimes of like, which actors are difficult to work with? And I've been on a couple of them. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, I mean, the people here would tell you,
Yeah.
or anything I've done. You know, I talk to the background people and everything, and so you're always kind of shocked by that. But I always tell people, I say, look, here's the thing. When they say, why do you take pictures with everybody and stand there and talk to a woman whose son's in dental school for a half an hour? Here's the reason, because they put my kids through school. And so you owe it to them, you really do. And anybody who doesn't come out of their trailer, you know, because they're upset about, you know, I don't want to say that line or whatever it is,
Yeah.
or if they ignore the fans and walk past them like they mean nothing, I think that's a bad thing for our business. And so I make sure that I do that. Not bragging on myself, I'm just saying I think I owe that.
Yeah. Do you think of yourself more as a musician than an actor?
At some point you have to think of yourself as an artist, you know,
Yeah.
and not really sort of draw a line between the two. And
Yeah. You're opening for The Who.
we are opening for The
That
Who,
is
yes.
crazy.
Yeah. The band has made a real upswing in the last 5 or 6 years, and we're on our 19th album.
19.
And so Nick, our agent, calls me the other day. He says, listen, I was just talking with Live Nation, and we're backing the tour up a few days. You're now opening for The Who in Miami for your first show, and 3 days later in Newark, New Jersey. And I'm like, there's no pressure there. And we've opened for ZZ Top and Steve Miller and Elvis Costello and all kinds of people,
yeah.
you know, but
The Who.
the three, I mean, it's the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and the Who. Those are the biggest bands who ever lived.
Do you get something different from playing music versus acting? I mean, they're both performances in some way, but they've got to be a little different, I guess.
Oh, for sure, they're
Yeah?
different, yeah. I mean, the satisfaction you get out of them is equal to me, but the thrill of going on stage in front of a lot of people to play music is very different than a movie set where you know you can do 5 takes. You can't do 5 takes out there.
Yeah.
But I think when you're doing a movie, you can get into yourself in a way that you don't in music. And plus the reaction is immediate in music. The reaction to your movie is a year later.
Yeah.
So you're not in the theater watching the movie with the people who are seeing it. So you don't know what they think about it until you see numbers on TV
Yeah.
or in the papers.
Right.
You know, I still say papers. Sorry.
You were told that, look, if you want to really get into the business, you got to kind of write your way in.
Yeah, Billy Wilder.
Billy Wilder,
Yeah. And I was at Stanley Donen's house working for a catering company passing out hors d'oeuvres. And he said, so I didn't know who he was. I'd heard of Billy Wilder, kind of,
Yeah.
but I wasn't a movie guy growing up. Like Scorsese knows every moment of every movie. I knew every liner note of every album. I didn't know. So the bartender, when I passed out the hors d'oeuvres to Billy Wilder and some guy he was talking to, and Debbie Reynolds was there with her husband. Dudley Moore was playing the piano. Dan Aykroyd was there with his wife Donna at the time. And so anyway, I'm there talking to Billy Wilder. He goes, so you want to be an actor, huh? Well, I thought he had ESP. You know, I was like, how do you know that? And he said, forget about it. I said, what do you mean? He said, you're too ugly to be a leading man. And he said, you're too pretty to be a character actor. And I said, what do I do? He said, can you write? I said, yeah, I do write. He goes, write your own stories, create your own characters, don't stand in line with everybody else. And then later on, he saw that I said that in the newspaper, and he got hold of me. And he said, come have lunch with me today on Beverly Drive at my office. He goes, I don't remember saying this stuff to you, but I read it in the paper. I'm glad I helped you. And then I started to know him a little bit. He and Stanley Kramer were the two of the old guard that really took me under their wing, yeah.
And Robert Duvall as well? He was like one of your mentor?
My mentor, Robert Duvall.
Bruce Dern.
Bruce Dern, and Sam Elliott.
Yeah. God, that's amazing. What did they teach you that you still take to heart today, I guess?
Take advice, listen to suggestions, and never betray yourself based on what you've heard from other people.
Betray yourself how?
Meaning, if it doesn't ring true to you, just don't do it.
Really?
Johnny Cash told me the same thing.
Really?
He said, yeah, listen to him all day long and just nod your head. But if it doesn't feel honest to you, don't do it.
How long after that meeting, when you met Billy Wilder, did you write Sling Blade?
Well, I started it out as a character in a one-man show I did.
That's right, yeah.
And that would have been late 80s, and I didn't write the script until 94, maybe, 93, something like that.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
Well, I think sometimes your subconscious already has something there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can write something and look back at it, think you're writing about something that you didn't experience, and then once you look back and read it, it's like, oh, I know what this is.
Do you think you'll ever go back to writing and directing?
You know, I think I'm relevant as an actor and a musician. I don't think I'm relevant anymore as a movie writer or a movie director, because the last couple of things I directed were things that came from my heart, and there were comedy dramas about the South, and nobody saw them. And now, of course, people come and say, hey, I love that movie. It never happens in the moment, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And directing takes 1.5 years out of your life.
Yeah.
And writing it, you know, and so I'm fond of being on the set. I'm not fond of pre-production and post-production. And I don't know that anybody wants to see what I have to say as a director or writer, because all my stuff is based on Southern literature. Yeah. It's all Erskine Caldwell, Flannery O'Connor, William Faulkner, John Faulkner. You know, it's that kind of thing. So, I mean, and Steinbeck, though, you know, the California thing, but it's all Dust Bowl sort of ideas. And I don't think that those stories would really be relevant to anyone right now. So I doubt I ever do it again. And plus, I'm no spring chicken. I'd rather spend my time actually just being the actor or being the musician as opposed to creating my own thing.
You still write, though?
I still write songs.
Yeah.
I don't write anything else.
You don't do short stories anymore or anything?
I don't write short stories anymore, although songs in a way are short stories. Yeah. And so I think it satisfies me there. It's a different art form. You have to tell a story in 3.5 to 4 minutes, so every line has to count. Whereas in a movie, you don't want every line to count because it becomes unrealistic. And I look at movies where every line's a zinger,
Yeah.
And real life, every now and then somebody has to say, hey, can you pass the salt? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, so I just think my style of writing movies and directing movies is not what they want now. And I mean, I think there's an audience for it,
Yeah.
but it's not an audience that's big enough for anybody to finance it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know?
That's a shame, though. What's Ally Larder like?
The second I met her, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, I get it. I know why I cast this girl. Our relationship in real life, and I love Ally. She's awesome. I mean, I couldn't do this without her. Couldn't do it without anybody in this. And our relationship in real life is so similar to the one in the show.
Is it really?
I mean, she is the one who wants to go to the best restaurant, get the fanciest thing. She's dressed up, looks like $1 million all the time.
Yep.
I'm the one who looks like this, and I want to go to like Finn's out in Weatherford and have a beer. And she's like, babe, listen, you're number one on the call sheet. I am not letting you go in that dump again, or whatever, wherever I've suggested. And so she leads me around by the ear in real life too, and I love every minute of it. She's awesome.
I mean, it looks like there's definitely chemistry there.
Oh
certainly.
yeah, for sure.
Because it sounds like it's real. Yeah.
Oh, when they say cut, she'll come right over and say something to me like we just said in the scene, and I say something like I just said to her. It's the craziest thing in the world. I mean, but she is really, I mean, but under her bluster, she's such a sweet person and cares so much about her family, and just all of them. Michelle, who plays Ainsley, my daughter, just the sweetest person in the world, and James and Colum and Jacob and Paulina and just Kayla. Every one of them, every day, I'm happy to see them when I get to work, and they inform who I am, and I think vice versa every day. I mean,
not as the character, but as you.
As humans, as the characters, everything. I mean, it's so trite to say, well, we've become a family, but I mean, it's really the truth. And on a movie, you're only there for 2 or 3, 4 months, and then sometimes you never see these people again. But this cast and crew, and by the way, this crew is, aside from the one that was my crew when I directed, this is the greatest crew I've ever worked with. Every one of them. There's not a bad apple in the bunch. We all know each other, and when you come to work, it's literally like we're building a house together, and some people are the carpenters, some people are doing the fixtures, and we come together to do this, and it's just such a fantastic feeling to be here. And on the days when you're supposed to not feel good and you're supposed to be a complete asshole, that's when you do your real acting.
No, I didn't really think about it that way.
Yeah, I mean, if I have to say something, especially Jacob and he's playing my son.
Yeah.
I have 2 sons and a 20-year-old daughter going to a college. I won't mention any names, but so with Ainsley, I have no problem being a father and being protective of Ainsley.
Yeah.
If my daughter says some of the things she says to me, I would probably have a seizure. And so that's not hard. Yeah. And with my daughter, it's like, for God's sake, put a moo-moo on, will you? Do you see those guys at the table? They're both going to have heart attacks. You can't do this to them. And Taylor's writing is so made for us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, he knew who to cast. He knew exactly who to cast. And
it seems like that's often where he starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows who this is for. And I write a lot like Taylor in the sense that we've talked about it. He doesn't always know where he's headed. He lets the characters tell him where the story goes. That's what I always did. It's like, I don't know where this is going. Start going. The characters, all of a sudden, they'll tell you. And then you just follow them.
As a writer yourself, do you and Taylor ever butt heads over the way a scene is written?
He's way bigger than I am. No, I'm not going to butt heads with Taylor. He works out every day. I only work out once every 7 months. Anyway, so no, you know what? He and I see eye to eye.
Yeah.
And he's very lenient with me. I mean, Taylor's writing is so tight that he generally doesn't have people ad-libbing.
Yeah.
He told me to my face that he said, look, you're a writer and a director. You know, I see how you operate. He goes, every now and then you'll throw a thing in there because you feel like it. And he goes, if it feels right, do it. He's been very generous with me. And I have to say, I love his writing so much that last season I found several places to throw things in there if I felt it in the moment. These are not pre-written things. These are things that just I feel like saying and I say them.
Yeah.
This year I called him one day. I said, I'm having a hard time getting outside your writing this time, dude.
Oh, right. Which he probably took as quite the compliment.
Oh, yeah, right. I mean, you know, he and I have a real understanding. We really do.
Seems like he focuses on a lot of the stars that he knew growing up, much like you did, more old school, I guess, in a lot of ways, and which does seem to come across in the storytelling. Does it feel like it's a little more old school?
Absolutely.
Does it?
No, Taylor is older underneath the hood. You know what I mean? He really is. He is definitely old school.
Yeah. That's got to be nice for you. Kind of feel like
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think your relationship? Well, what is your relationship to fame now, as opposed to what it was, say, when you were starting out?
In the beginning, I just wanted to be able to make enough to make a living doing something I loved.
Yeah.
I didn't have dreams of stardom. I had dreams of just being in it. That was great for me. And when I got into this stuff, I did an episode of Matlock and I met Andy Griffith. It was like, wow, if I can do this and make $350 a day, that's awesome. So that's all I thought about. Once I sold with Tom a couple screenplays and had enough money to actually live semi-comfortably.
Yeah.
Then I started thinking of a little bit bigger things. I would say I wanted it in music in the beginning more than I did in the movies, yeah. And then, but then after Sling Blade, it was like, well, I'm in it now.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. I'll take it. And so, yeah. But even to this day, I've turned down a lot of things that could have made me a lot more money and gotten me a lot more exposure.
Because?
Because it wasn't right.
Yeah.
I've done a couple of big movies that, you know, they're not my, what do they call it, your crowning achievement, you know, but they weren't bad and people love them. The characters I played them were the characters in it that I thought I was good for, and they came out clean.
Yeah.
So, and then along the way you have a stinker here and there, but I can't take things that I don't think I'm right for. I've turned down parts and said, you know who you ought to get is this guy.
Wow.
So I don't take things that I'm not right for. I'm known for playing a lot of different things, but they're in my wheelhouse and they're the ones that I think I'm the best guy for the job. And my standard joke, I've said it a lot and bore the hell out of people, but I always say if they're doing a movie on Charles de Gaulle, get a Frenchman. He'll do better than I will.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I heard that somebody wanted you to play Nixon at one point.
Yeah, I was offered to play Richard Nixon. I said it would be an imitation, and I don't want to do an imitation.
Yeah.
But I was honored to be asked. I was asked to play Vince Lombardi, the famous football coach. I said, you need a shorter, wider Italian guy from the East Coast. You know, I said, that's, you know, I'm a skinny hillbilly. I'm not the guy. And I was honored to be asked.
Yeah.
But your best work is the stuff that you know you're the guy for. You know.
Yeah.
If you know that's my part. I never looked at Taylor and said, this Tommy Norris guy, that ain't me. I looked at it and said, wow, are you in my dreams?
Yeah.
You know? And I said the same thing to David Kelly and those guys for Goliath,
Yeah.
and did the same thing with Noah Hawley for Fargo. I said, okay, I get why you want to cast me as this part,
Yeah.
and that's what you take. And
Like you
fame, it's like, yeah, it's, I went from being Jerry Lee Lewis for years into being Elvis Presley in Texas. I mean, it's like, it's a great feeling. I love the people in the Fort Worth area, and it feels good when they come up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're representing their state and a business that largely operates out of here. So why would you ever not like that recognition? It feels good. And I mean, when Angelina and I were married, we went through like a sort of crazy time of that, because they seem to be interested in celebrity couples a lot, and so if you get in one of those, it goes to 11, and so, I've been through that. I know what it's like. And, the paparazzi's more interested in people who go to Paris a lot. I don't do that. So the paparazzi's interested in that. The fans are interested in this.
Yeah.
And if the paparazzi gets interested, you wave and you smile, and I learned how to handle that a long time ago. You say hello, smile, wave for the pictures, and they ask you a question, you say, I wouldn't know, I don't read the news,
Yeah.
And, but if you don't do that, if you're mean to anybody, the picture that ends up in the papers is the ugly picture.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't want the ugly picture in there.
Yeah. You've learned well.
I've learned well.